Oh, well, I'll tell you this. I think the women, they give you more than what I coach guys for 23 years. This is my second year coaching girls. Girls work a lot harder. Now, unfortunately, and I'll tell you this, and my colleagues that I talk to that are on the men's side, they'll agree with it too. They work harder and they're tougher. They work harder and they're tougher, and they're more loyal to you. So from that aspect, I enjoy it thoroughly. Now I've got 9 18-year-olds. Now we've got 9 freshmen, and we're not very good right now. I think we're getting better. We hadn't won a game, but I threw them in the river. We've played number 13 in the country. We've played a top 25 team. I've scheduled them really, really tough because I wanted them to know right off the bat how tough it is to play college basketball. There's a huge difference between high school basketball and college basketball, particularly on the women's side. There's a huge difference, and a lot of them are finding it out. We start 4 freshmen and a senior, and really my best 7 of my top 9 players are freshmen. I could easily start 5 freshmen. That's 18-year-olds going up against 22 and 23-year-olds. So we're a little bit of at a little bit of a disadvantage, but I'm trying to build it for the future. I don't want to go out and get some junior college kids, and that doesn't mean I won't recruit them, but they're gone for 2 years. They're gone after 2 years, and usually you only get 1 good year out of them anyway. So I never thought that was a pretty good investment in all the years that I've been coaching. I was the same way on the men's side. I always started out with high school kids. I've just got this belief that, I mean, this is my 25th consecutive year on a college campus. I've just got this belief that if kids believe in their school and they like their school and they get involved in their community and they get to know people and they have a great time and a great school, you never forget that means something to you. Every university that I've been a part of, I mean, I've left a part of myself there. It won't be any different here. I never plan to leave wherever I go. I never plan to leave. Now, if I don't win any more games, Andy Carter's going to fire me. There's no doubt about that. But I never plan to leave. We always try and inject ourselves in the community. I mean, I was telling a guy yesterday, I said, man, I am not having a great season, but good Lord, I've had a great life, and I'm having a great life right now. So I try and separate the two as best I can, because if you don't, you'll be on a roller coaster. My bread and water depends on the performance of 18-year-olds, and that's not necessarily a good thing sometimes. But but I'll tell you a little bit about myself. And before I go any further, let me say that I'm a strong Christian. I believe in my Lord and Savior, and I have no problem saying that. I'm thankful to be here. Anytime I see a person in service, whether I'm going through the airport or in the mall, I make it a point to stop that guy or that young lady and say, thank you for your service. I've got a son, my oldest son plays professional basketball. This is his 3rd year to play, and he's in the Ukraine right now playing. And I was talking to him the other day, and I'm not aware. He's a 25-year-old kid, and he don't watch much news. And I'm like, son, are you aware that they're rioting in Kiev? Or you're just 5 hours from them? Are you? So what are you talking about? There are riots in the middle. So then he's flying his girlfriend or fiance over to where he is in the Ukraine, and they're going to Paris, and he's just living the life just like, he's not worried about where he is, and we're worried to death. He's been to Israel, he's been all over Europe playing professional basketball, but then I tell him all the time, and he makes a great living doing that, but man, there's no place like this country. There's just no place like it. And then I was going through my usual donut shop this morning, and getting my usual stuff that I don't need. And a car in front of me had a bumper sticker, and the bumper sticker said, "I am so lucky I live in Alva." And there's a bumper sticker. Now, granted, I get asked a lot of questions that are negative. But Coach, how hard is it to recruit in Alva? What about the water went out last year? I mean, people tend to focus on the negative, and I am the exact opposite. I was telling my team this morning, we're going to practice about as much as you can practice. We're going twice a day, twice tomorrow, twice the next day. I don't believe in working on Sunday unless it's just absolutely necessary. So they'll get a reprieve on Sunday. But before they go home for Christmas break, we're going to try and fix some things that we think that are broke. But I was telling them this morning, I said, look, we're 0-3 in the conference. We've got 17 games left. It's barely Christmas. I said, when people do great things, they don't plan to do those things. Those things kind of just happen. So we've got the opportunity to turn this thing around, and before you know it, you can win 9 of your next 11 or however many of your next 17, and you can go from what people think about you now into doing something great. And then I told them, when you do that, I probably won't be able to tell you a thing anyway. You'll listen to me now. But once you start having some success, they probably won't hear a word that I've got to say. But it's always been a little bit more to me than just coaching. I love coaching the game. I love being around the kids. But man, if all I've got to show for it after 25 or 30 years is somebody just going to refer to me, he's just a coach. And my life was just based on wins and losses. I'm going to be judged by that anyway. But man, I've got to have an impact on some kids' lives in a positive way. That's what I believe my calling is, and that's what I've been doing for the last 25 years, and really my first job for the last 32 years. That's what I've been doing, is trying to impact kids' lives in a positive way. I just happen to be coaching basketball to do it right now. But I've got a wonderful wife that puts up with me, and that is the perfect coach's wife. I know some of you may know, some of you may not. I have no problem sharing my personal life. My philosophy has always been, man, when you live in a small town, everybody's business is everybody's business anyway. But my wife gave me her kidney about 10 years ago. So I'm walking around with and she's a little bitty short little thing that weighs about 125 pounds, and I'm a big old guy, but we were a match. And I got a great life. I mean, I got a kid that's playing halfway across the world. I got a young kid playing basketball out here at Alva High School that doesn't cause a problem, pretty much a straight-A student, and wants to be a surgeon. I mean, my biggest problem is being 0-9, and I know what plan I have. I know what I'm going to do. I know what these girls are capable of. I know I've just got to be patient, which is hard to do sometimes with young kids. But I know what direction they're going in. I know what I'm trying to do. I'm fortunate to be able to go to that university every morning and impact some kids' lives. And my door has always been open at every university that I've been at. Not just for the kids that I coach, but for any kid on that campus. I enjoy teaching my classes. I enjoy being a part of their lives, because I've always believed. I didn't want to coach high school. Definitely didn't want to coach junior high school. All right. I wanted college-level kids, because I thought that the ages of 18 to 22 are the most important years of your life. And if you can help them make great decisions, that thing on my board in the locker room, the choices you make you. So we try and help them make great choices. Not just me. That's a great place over there. This is a great city. I've lived in Oxford, Mississippi, an hour from Memphis, where I've recruited out of the public schools in Memphis, and it's not safe. It's not safe. You know, I'm originally from Little Rock. My mother lives in the highest crime area in the city, and she won't move. She's been there for 30+ years. And it's not safe, but you can't make her move. That's just what she's going to do. She's the social worker in her neighborhood. That's just what she's going to do. We've tried to move her. We've offered to buy her a new home. We've tried. You get to a certain age, you're not going anywhere. You're going to be where you're going to be. So, you know, we try and impact the kids' lives. We've got 9 freshmen on our team. I pretty much would think that of the 14 girls that we've got on our team right now, 10 or 11 of those girls are going to have 3.0 GPAs or better. And probably about 4 or 5 of them are going to have 4.0s. And some of the others are going to fall between 3.2 and 3.6. We don't have many academic issues. We're not trying to recruit those kind of kids. So I think the future's good. Like I tell them every day, you're getting better. You're getting better. You don't have anything to show for it tangibly, but I can see it, and I hope they can see it, because we try and give them a lot of encouragement, and we work them awful hard. And we've got 17 more games to play over the months of January and February, and hopefully we're gonna catch fire a little bit. Is what I'm hoping. But the most important thing is to retain all those girls and bring them back next year, because I've got a 10th grader now, and the difference between him when he was a 9th grader in comparison to where he is now as a 10th grader is like night and day. He's always been a mature kid, but by the time he's a senior, I mean, the maturity level, you can just, it's just like putting water on a plant when it comes to young kids. So I enjoy what I do. I enjoy being in this town. I was talking to a guy the other day that said, Coach, this town is just, I mean, it's just going to the dogs. It's not even safe. People have moved in here. It's not like what it was. Now, I'm like, man, I'm feeling like you got no crime. What? I'd hate to think of what it was like before the oil. I'd hate to think of what it was like before. This had to be the quietest place in the world. Because it seems like it's that way. We left our house and we were gone for about 5 days and just left the door and come back, and we left the door open, and my wife jumped all over me because we didn't lock the place, and not a thing missing, nobody. So you know, and I appreciate that. And you get a little older, you know, you appreciate the things that a lot of people take for granted. So if you get a chance to come out and watch us play, we're young, and we've played a lot better on the road than what we have at home, and I can't figure it out. I think when we go on the road, they bond a little bit better. They don't have as many distractions, and then when we're at home, it just seems like we're not playing as well. So we've talked about that, and we're trying to work through some of those kind of things. But when you can figure out the mind of an 18-year-old, you just call and let me know, and we'll do what we need to do to try and get them better. But before I leave, my wife was president of the Lions Club in Magnolia, Arkansas, where we came from. Thank you for what you do. You know, civic organizations are the backbone of towns like this, and your service, you may not get thanked enough for it, but people know what you do. They know what you bring to the table. And anytime I get an opportunity to speak, I'm fortunate enough. I'm a little long-winded, but I'm fortunate enough that somebody asked me to come and speak to this group. I always thank you for what you do, and how much you believe in the community you live in, and how much you get behind the athletic teams over there at the university and the high school teams. Good Lord, I told my kid, they got a snack list. I'm like, you get treated better than, I've never seen anything like it. The parents go all out for those kids over there at Alva High School. The games are always well supported. And compared to where he came from, I mean, I've got to stay here until because he ain't going with us. If we went somewhere, I already know what he's going to tell me. He's got some friends and their parents. He's going to stay right with them. He won't go with us if we go. So we gotta stay. He'll stay. He won't go. So you got my kid, you got me. Because I know my wife ain't leaving him. So. But anyway, thank you guys for your service, and thank you for allowing me the opportunity to speak.